So I think we all agree that something significant is happening around technology. If you look at NASDAQ, if you look at the top companies today, they're all technology. And the only thing, another thing's changed quite significantly is that how do you play technology? How do you invest in technology? You used to be able to invest in the public markets. But looking over the last couple of weeks, in a market where Amazon lost $300 billion in its market cap, the public markets aren't functioning and aren't really the access point for you to invest in technology. And just to enhance that, if you'd have looked and you kind of invested in Microsoft, Oracle, not Facebook, but leading companies in the past, you could have made huge returns in the public markets, 500-600 times your initial investment, if you had it invested at the time of the IPO. But today, companies are going public much later. They are getting huge capital injections from the SoftBank mega funds, from private equity. Every week you're reading about a new fund which is closing $1 billion or multi-billions of dollars. It's changing. And in the public markets, you're not able to access the technology companies and make a great return. Israel, which is our home market, though we're certainly investing beyond that, is another indicator here of money that's flowing into private investments. This year we'll see over $6 billion in Israel alone, sort of about 10% of the US market. And that trend is certainly continuing as investors look to tap into technology companies, recognizing they've got to get into them when they're private, not in the public markets. As far as ourselves and why Israel, I think there's a lot happening. I'm not just here with my Israeli flag. We are certainly sort of global today, and 70% of our investments are in Israel, 30% in the rest of the world. There's a lot of exits happening. And if you sort of look on every year of investments in Israel, if last year it was $5 billion, there was way beyond double that in exit value. So people are returning capital, and you can certainly see it's not small. Some of the Israeli companies today are certainly getting critical mass. Mobileye, you all have heard of, Intel paying 10% of their market cap to access the future of autonomous driving through Mobileye. As far as OurCrowd, an update, we've deployed to date around $750 million. We certainly see ourselves passing $1 billion this year in commitments. And in addition to the 160 investments we've made, we've also made investments in 12 funds. What does that mean? It means that if you go to our platform, you can access funds. We have on the platform now US Venture Partners, for example, which is a top quartile US fund. Through our platform, no additional fees, you can access a Silicon Valley top quartile fund. Now that is something which didn't exist in the past. There was simply no access. And by the way, I didn't mention, but the minimum check size we require is $50,000 for a fund. If you want to invest in an individual company through us, the minimum is $10,000. So really, we are bringing it, it's not to the crowd. We only work with accredited investors, but we're certainly giving you access to top companies. And by the way, we're not just putting them there so you can make a decision. We're doing a lot of the upfront work as far as due diligence and sorting through which companies make sense. So to date, we have over 160 portfolio companies with funds. Of the 12 funds we have, 6 are curated or homegrown, and 6 are external. For example, beyond USVP, we also have OX on our platform, which is ex-Amadeus Partners 2, created a fund called OX, which does pan-European enterprise software. So we're certainly looking to provide our investors with the diversification which we think they need, as well as access to pretty unique and cool technology companies. Beyond that, we have an investor base, which today is close to 26,000 accredited investors from 112 countries around the globe. We use that network. In addition to the 160 multinationals we have relationships with, we use that network to make introductions, to put our companies in contact with you so that they can benefit from this huge and unique network which we're building. So, if you look at OurCrowd today, we're providing funds and individual investments. And who's our clientele? clientele of family offices, ultra-high net worth individuals, and anyone who is an accredited investor. In addition to that, as we grow and we start to put funds, we're working more and more with institutions as well. If you look at our portfolio, it really is reflective in some way of the top opportunities that exist in Israel and around the globe. We are agnostic as far as the stage and the sector which we invest in, but you will see that we invest amongst the top, with the top VCs and seed investors and angel investors around the globe. So as far as the process, we see, and just to be clear, we function as a venture capital fund. We do DD on companies. We see around 2,000 companies a year. About 1% of those will make it to the investment committee and be approved. After that, after we've done significant research on the company, HR, multiple analysis, we have over 160 employees, 20 people in the deal flow team alone, in addition to experts which we bring in from outside in areas where we don't know. So we are really doing it, and we're committing our own capital to this deal. So beyond that, only once we've done our DD, we've approved it at the investment committee, and we've committed our own capital, and we have a term sheet, only then do we put it on the site. And our investors get to invest in the company at the same terms as we do. Okay? Beyond that, and after that, we have this network which I alluded to, which can support the companies and help them with their business development, and in some cases, their exits. As far as what we bring to investors, and I think this is extremely important, we bring you an ability to invest alongside the top VCs and angels from around the globe. Many of our deals, you will see Sequoia, Axel, many, and the Israeli VCs. So really, this is something which is quite unique, because if you wanted to access any of those venture capital funds directly, A, you'd have to have pretty good connections, and secondly, you'd be writing checks of millions of dollars to be an LP. As far as I mentioned, we certainly have aspirations, and we are investing significantly beyond Israel, and you can start to see our portfolio and our investments, some of which, by the way, are unicorns already, outside of Israel. So we're bringing you, through our investor base, access to certainly deals outside of Israel. Kluk just did a recent round. There we invested alongside Sequoia, Matrix, and Goldman Sachs. So really, we're bringing you access to really unique deals. As far as exits, which is extremely important, we've had 21 exits from our portfolio. So we're returning capital to investors, which is extremely important. And if you can sort of see who's buying our companies, it's multinationals. Today, in Israel, we have over 420 multinationals with offices. They didn't come to Israel to sell their equipment. They came to tap into the innovation. And often they're doing that through purchasing and acquiring companies. In addition to that, we also have an incubator, which we really see the whole food chain. We don't think that our investors should be investing in early stage companies directly. We're incubating them through an incubator. There, by the way, we're partnered with Reliance and Motorola. In addition to that, seed, we don't think you should be investing in seed directly. We've partnered or have curated our own funds in seed. So really today, you'll see us as a platform providing unique access to deals which we've curated, deals which we've done due diligence, and candidly, otherwise, you just wouldn't have access to. Because many of you want to. You're obviously excited by technology, it's why you're here. You want to access those companies, but how do you do it? If you go to our website, you will see we provide a lot of information. We provide access to presentations, webinar, our own research, why we like the company, and the terms of the deal. And as investors, beyond that, investors get quarterly updates, which is something which a regular VC certainly doesn't. So we're innovating, we're changing this sector, and we're providing access to accredited investors from around the globe. Thank you very much.